Well met.
Everybody joins the Vanguard. Get it? We're the best fighters you're likely to meet.
Some ceasefire. The Karja in Shadow go ahead and kill the captain of the Vanguard in
Alright, hello and welcome. Let me just do a slight quick test to see if the audio comes through and if it's all loud enough and stuff. And there's no horrible buzzing or anything on the stream.
It's a noble Karja institution.
And if we've done that... Okay, that sounds good. So I guess we can get going then. Right, and because I forgot it last time, we leveled up, right? So let's do a little typing into the chat. Okay, so much for that. All right. So I've finally been able to... Oops, all my windows disappeared. There they are again. I've finally been able to look at the videos we have, because as I told you, we're if you're watching the video on demand, then this is probably not as relevant to you. But if you're watching this live, then we're kind of streaming out of order. Whoops, because we're doing the beginning after the end, which, if you're a subscriber to Limited Time, is a rather unusual thing to do. Yeah, and that's why I had to take notes which missions I have already done, so I don't do them again in here. So if you're watching the video on demand, hopefully you won't be noticing anything of this. If you're watching this live and thinking like, yeah, it's the beginning and I've already seen the end, when will there be a new game? Then I think we should finish in the next 1 or 2 parts. like catch up with the later chapters. So don't worry too much, and then we will probably be going and playing Marvel's Spider-Man, which just released, and which I've had the pleasure of trying out a little bit, and it's very interesting. I'm horrible at it, but then I was the same when I started with this game, and it took me quite a while to practice. On the other hand, I tried it out because I wanted to know whether I have any hope of doing it at all. And I'm a horrible web slinger, but I sort of, kind of, a bit can do it. So I think
How long will it go on?
that should be our next game. So look forward to that. Let's say hi to this
Not
guard.
what I imagined when I was a boy, but it's decent work, keeping the city safe.
Take a look at these wares.
They're necessities.
Okay, I'll be picking up some missions here that
You help me.
Wares.
Nora, please, I need to speak with you. You're the one the Vanguard has been crowing about. The Nora who tracks criminals and traitors with her second sight. If only you'd use it to help me. A thief raided my home and took my brother's sword.
Tell me about the robbery. Don't leave anything out.
It was brazen and professional. They took only the sword, my most valuable possession. The thief went out through the window and scared the shadow off my steward. Otherwise, it would have been a clean getaway.
Why would someone steal the sword?
It's priceless. Made from the burnished antler of a lancehorn, finely inlaid with studded stones all down the...
Okay, I get it.
Forgive me. That's not even why it's important. The 12th Sun King gave it to my brother for his military service. He was killed in battle during the liberation. I was saving it for my nephew who's stranded at Sunfall with the Karja in Shadow.
How did your nephew wind up in Sunfall?
Most of the old clergy backed the Mad Sun King, so when he fell, they ran out of fear of retribution. As an honor guard to a venerable priest, my nephew had no choice but to go with them. Now that my brother is gone, my nephew is my heir, so that sword really belongs to him. And after all he's been through, I won't be able to look him in the face if I don't get it back.
I'll see what I can do about the robbery.
Have a word with my steward if you need to. He saw the thief escape. And listen, all I want is the sword back. Meridian, and my family for that matter, has seen enough strife already. If I can get it back, all is forgiven. No retribution necessary.
Alright. So yeah, this sounds like it'll be an interesting side quest. Seems a little weird, you know, like we're searching for, you know, criminals and stuff.
Come take a look. I'll give you a good
But, it'll still be,
like what I have to say. I promise.
you know, it's still an interesting quest. I like these musicians.
Check out these wares.
They're in several places, and
Don't forget to stock up.
I think they basically always play the same song. But hey,
Praise the sun. The ceasefire seems to be holding.
Fine goods for a fair price.
although I think the musicians are different now.
Would you like to buy something today?
And I think the animation cycle does not match the actual music.
Buy what you need, leave the rest.
They did like a long show of we're preparing for doing a song, then the song was already playing.
Fine goods for a fair
I could use my
price.
focus to look around.
Would you like to buy something today?
And now there is no music.
Wares. Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road.
Oh, okay, I guess they're doing it now.
Goods here.
Again, you know, this is a really nice game, but they're not really
regret not stopping when you're in the thick of it.
You know, details like that might not be that easy to do.
Only the fine goods for
I mean, I guess syncing up video and audio shouldn't be that hard, but like across several characters, so that it all works.
years. I've seen better.
Yeah, see, you hear the full song, but
Perhaps my focus can help me.
Show was better last week.
Would you like to buy something today?
the musician at the guitar is not actually playing.
I've got all the best goods here.
So that's probably someone did the animation
You need, leave the rest.
for musicians, and someone else did a song, and then they just stuck it together and didn't have time.
You'll like what I have for sale, I promise. You'll regret not stopping when you're in the thick of it.
This isn't
Don't
up to
pass
their
up these
usual.
goods.
Like what I have for sale.
See, like they're counting the song and then only starting to play, but the song's been going for like half the
Take a
time.
look, I'll give you a good price.
So it's a little out of sync, I guess. But it's a fun
Maybe
idea.
my focus will see something.
Stock up before you're on the road.
Yeah, your focus might see something, but really, who cares? We're seeing interesting stuff here. Okay, so let's see what other quests we can pick up in this area.
Prices keep going up in Meridian.
Who are you? You seem unfamiliar. Oh, maybe just approach him from
You're an
the other side.
outlander. Nora from the look of you. I'll bet you're a machine hunter, too.
I've hunted my share.
Now, let me give you a word of advice. Don't bother with the Hunter's Lodge. If you're not Karja, you'll never rise in the ranks.
What's wrong with the hunting lodge exactly?
Nothing, if you like stuck-up bigots. I'm known as a skilled hunter back home in Banur, so I thought I'd try my luck at the lodge. I thought it'd be simple. Hunt machines, gain ranks, see who's best. But it doesn't work like that at all. It's all rigged to keep the Karja at the head of the line. I don't need those snobs to tell me I can hunt. I'm going home.
Are you saying that you have to be Karja to join the lodge?
No, they take other tribes. But they have rules in place to keep outlanders from gaining ranks. When Sun King Avad took over, he promised a new day, Meridian open to all. But it's a sham. Sure, you can get a seat at the feast, but you just can't eat the food.
Sounds like someone needs to shank things up at the lodge.
Maybe, but it isn't gonna be me. If you decide to go, be sure to give them a good old-fashioned Banuk farewell mark in my honor.
A Banuk farewell mark. What's that?
Piss on the floor. Preferably someplace they won't find it until it gets nice and sour.
Well, I guess that's one way to
Chiron raided
express your
Sun King Avad sent peace missions.
appreciation of bad things done to you,
Even the well-intentioned
or
are
lack thereof. Okay, now there seems to be a... Oh, that's Olin's place, okay. I guess they left his door open.
Trickery.
Yeah, so
The Shadow Karja know them well.
how do we get up there?
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the
You'll
road.
regret not stopping when you're in the thick of it.
You'll like what I have for sale, I
I
promise.
guess this bridge...
Chiron's soldiers
These aren't goods. They're necessities.
Not here. Alright, let's try to find wherever we can. There. Ooh, loot. Always like loot.
Any work done under the sun warms you through the night.
Yeah, hi. Everybody, by the way, feel free to say hi.
Nice. Glad I stopped for a bit.
There's such interesting people here. Like a... What do you call that? Flame swallower? fire. Isn't that cool?
Time when the machines were
I guess you've been drinking too much Blaze.
Only the finest goods here. See for yourself.
It's cool when they add. I mean, that's something that AAA games can do easily, you know, because it's something you can do while the rest of the game is done. You know, you can just take some people and tell them, hey, here, find some details that fit this world to, you know, and add it, and it can be done on the side while the rest of the game is being developed, and they don't depend on much. You know, the thing they depend on is basically...
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road. Find goods for a fair price. That aqueduct is the pride of Meridian.
Sorry.
You there, Outlander?
Thought those
Do you
stairs
have
might
relics
be
to trade?
interesting.
Take a look at these wares.
Of course, they have the animation twice on different characters here. Ah, found stairs. That sounds promising. Looks promising.
Wander in the outlands south of here. Pray to the
Yeah, anyway, so the...
We don't see many more around here. Not since the raids.
That's something in game design, you know, like you can... There's the a saying among managers, basically, or at least managers on software projects, which is that one woman can have a child in 9 months, but 9 women cannot have a child in 1 month. So that means you cannot throw more people at a project infinitely to make it take less time. You know, some tasks just take a certain time, and certain tasks, you know, just have to happen in a certain order. So in a software project, you know, someone has to create the 3D engine for the game. Someone has to, you know, once you're actually like rendering the polygons or something, once you have that, you have to write code that, you know, like does the collision detection, you have to write code that does the audio, things like this. So nobody can finish,
anyway.
you know, nobody can start implementing a mission before a whole bunch of things are in place. So there's always like a certain time it will take just to create the foundations on which everyone will build. You know, it's like building a house and expecting to be able, you know, like, wouldn't the house be much faster if you could just have someone build the roof while people are still laying the foundations, and at the same time have someone build, like have a separate group build each floor in between. No, you can't do that. You at least have to do the foundations and build like the skeleton of the house, so like supporting struts and things, and then you can on each floor have a team work on, you know, like building like the outside walls around, and even then, you know, like as before the walls are up, you cannot, you know, like put in the wiring and outlets and things like that. And before you have the wiring in the wall, it's not really that useful to start, you know, like painting and the walls, because there will still be people, you know, hitting holes into the walls and things like that, for, you know, drilling holes in, and again that will then damage the paint, and you'll have to repaint in those spots where there's been work going on. And of course, if you have fresh wet paint, you don't want to be doing any woodwork or something, because otherwise the wood dust will stick to the wet walls, and you'll have like bits of wood in your paint and things like that. So there is a certain order that you have to do things in, otherwise it won't work.
Hi there, Outlander. Name's Vilgund. Did you come to the city looking for work? Good shards. Enough to buy garb more becoming of your...
Okay, stop there if you want me to hear you out.
I only meant a well-molded woman such as you. I heard an interesting rumor about a Banuk camp. Tame machines, the rumor said. So I hired men to investigate. Just investigate, that's all. Those Banuk are canny, too canny. I paid up front. Well, half up front. I've had no word back.
So now you're hiring someone to find the last men you hired.
They're a sunk cost. This rumor's worth more to me.
So is there any more to the rumor about this camp?
The last bunch just wanted to know about the reward. Hey, you're a smart one. This camp isn't even big enough for a name up where the snow won't thaw. They say the Banuk there live alongside machines. Peaceful as you like. Keep 'em, use 'em, sing to 'em. If it's true, if we learned how they do it, think how valuable that would be to all the tribes.
When you say valuable, you mean they'd pay you for it.
Girl, I'm not made of straw.
What can you tell me about the Banuk?
The Banuk women. Snow witches all. Cold eyes, cold... They choose to live up there in Ban-Ur, in the ice. Trying to have a conversation, it's like chipping them out of the stuff. They prefer machines for company. That's why I'm putting my shards on this rumor.
Then they might not want outsiders to know about this place.
Their mystic act. No care for possessions, for luxuries. Pile of slag. Those people bargain harder than the winter frost.
Are you some kind of merchant? You don't seem to have any wares.
More of an explorer.
But you send other people to do your exploring.
All right, more of an opportunist. Girl. Nora girl. Huntress. We live in a world of opportunities. Risky opportunities. But why should risk stand in the way of a lucrative prospect for the likes of me? All right. I'm more of a gambler.
If I did look into your rumor...
You won't need to climb up the shoulders of the world for it. It's on the edge of Banuk land, beneath the anvil of the moon. And you look like you know your way around the savage east. The east. If it's true they walk among machines without fear in this camp, well, you can't miss that, can you? Payment on return.
Alright, let's see what quests we have acquired so far. So this one we can actually do, I think. Okay. And the Maker's End we can do as well. That's nice. So these two main quests we can actually do. Let's see. This one we won't be doing. This one probably not either. Blood on Stone. I don't actually know, but it's... I think it's a little too high level for us still. The Frozen Wilds we've already done in extra clips. Ancient Armory. Okay. for the lodge. Okay, collateral we've already done, so we won't be doing that more. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the missions. Oh, we actually have enough for the golden fast travel pack. I'll probably unlock that again, but like that's something that we want to do. Shadow sling, shadow sharpshot bow, resource satchel. Okay. Yeah, and the last one will be the sun steps. Okay, so I guess we can do our main quests. The Maker's End is actually lower level than the Pitch Cliff into the Borderlands quest. Okay, so let's go to Maker's End then, find out something.
Able-bodied adventurers, preferably with no...
Oh, and first find a... Oh wait, but there was something more up there, here. Another mission, right. So let's grab that. So we've got all the mission starts at least. Yes, this one. Whoops, wrong button. Haha.
You're Nora. I'm the mournful Naman. My apologies that we meet like this.
Like this.
In grief. You hold yours close, like a talisman. Wait, forgive me. You didn't come for reparations? Someone you lost to the Sun Ring?
Oh, no. I know about the Red Raids, but the Karja owe me nothing.
I see. Well, I could use the help of a strong-willed outlander. Then I would owe you very much indeed. These people seek to honor their loved, their lost, with their own voices, not mouthing Karja rituals to Karja stone. But there are obstacles. While Meridian holds its breath for any disturbance, these robes only tie my hands.
What kind of obstacles?
The first pilgrim is an Oseram, who seeks to visit the Shrine of Kings on the road to the city. He waits there now, forbidden to enter by an old sun priest who suffer no heathen. This Utaro lost her companion on the edge of the jewel, at a pool where snap moths gather. The shrine was built there to ward off the machines, and its effectiveness leaves much to be desired. And the Manuk would paint a mark on the sun's climb, a call to the machine spirits, I understand. They need no beckoning. Glint hawks perch there, drawn to the spires shining.
So clear the machines out of 2 shrines and move a priest out of the other.
All I can ask for is your charity and that their stories are heard.
Naman, rituals and prayers can't bring back those who are lost.
No, but it can help those who grieve to find themselves. It can lend them strength and hope, like a new sunrise.
I didn't think your priesthood would ask outsiders for help.
If only the sun would set on our pride. Until this is done, I am no sun priest. To wear a red robe was an aspiration. I aspired. Now our hoods make us blind. We whisper reconciliation, but forget how the old king's priests sang the words and blessed the killing.
The killing? You mean the Red Raids?
Yes. And the sacrifices that came after.
Why did the priests go along with all that bloodshed?
Sometimes we Karja are more concerned with what is tradition than what is right.
Huh. Maybe the Karja and Nora aren't so different. You're disappointed with the Sun Priests, but you still wanted to be one?
I spent my whole life looking up to the temple. My brother's voice echoing in its arches. Even he couldn't turn me away, and how he tried, in the end. He said, when we were loved, our robes were dyed in cinnabar. Now they are stained in blood.
How so?
Our robes are handed down to us. Most of the old priests fled rather than be seen in the glare of a new sun. And so we are left to wear their sins. For me, at least, they hang heavy.
Where is your brother now?
He waits for me on the trail of the sun, I hope. He spoke out against the sacrifices. For a priest to question the Sun King's will, his punishment was worst of all.
You lost someone you loved too. I'm sorry.
No, not lost. When I took on these robes, I found his memory.
I'll do what I can to help those in mourning.
To honor their memories is to honor us all.
I like that they go for this story like it's you know, you could just have any story about, you know, like, oh, there has been war and, you know, these are the evil people and these are the good people or whatever, but they're actually going and talking about, oh, that's interesting ceremony. You know, and like, this is how wars happen, you know. There are people, you know, who maybe do something wrong, people who fight against them, and then afterwards you have to deal with the fallout. And there will be people who still think it was right what they did, and that they don't have anything to apologize for, and there are other people, you know, who are angry and think, you know, they should be killed. And it's just like having this background and having this background and seeing like how hard it is to re-establish peace, but how some people try and some people like Said that we met before haven't tried, or rather, you know, like are trying to get away with still doing whatever they want. And you know how some people can pretend they had never done anything wrong, and how, you know, like collaborators and criminals you know, sometimes just hide again. That's something that's happened in so many different wars throughout humanity's history, that it's nice that they're picking that up and actually having that here as the background. The Sun Faith. 7 articles of the Sun Faith. 1. Over all the world rises and sets the great sun as is plainly seen. To all plants, animals, machines, and men it gives life, as is plainly seen. Of all the tribes, none have scaled such heights as the Karja is guided by the sun. Witnessing these things to be true each day, celebrating these things each day, we believe in the sun and its light gladly and without question. It's also like many belief systems have some similar, you know, phrasings and words that in the beginning, you know, are you know, meant harmlessly and then become their own purpose, and that they become tradition and then it is expected to be that way and it's not questioned. You know, like, if you started your own belief system, of course you would only enshrine things in that belief system, whatever it is. You know, it doesn't have to be a religion like here, but what you put in there is usually things that you hold to be true. And so if you write down, you know, like, we know that the sun, you know, rises in the west and goes down in the east or whatever, then you write that down. If you later find out, it's actually more, you know, like northeast or something like that, then suddenly you'll go, you know, or like if you say the sun describes its circle around the earth and then you find out, well, it's actually the other way around, the earth flies around the sun, then you know, that should be flexible. But then if someone else comes in and says that, and it's, you know, like a couple hundred years later, they might actually, that might actually start a war, because some people say, well, our sacred books that otherwise are full of good information actually say it's different, and so we don't want you to contradict our books. And you know, some things you just have to write down, like my like most basic foundation for a belief system would be like all belief systems that can coexist need to have some basic foundation that prevents one from conflicting with the other. Either that, or you need one belief system that just, you know, takes out everyone else, which is not a healthy system. You want the diversity. I mean, you know, like people say, well, you don't really want diversity, you want, you know, to do the right thing. But the thing is, we're humans, we misunderstand things, we observe things and then later find out, oh, we overlooked a special case or whatever, so, like, scientifically, you always question stuff. And, so, when you do, no, I lost my train of thought, sorry. Was it belief systems and stuff? Sorry. Anyway, every belief system... Oh yeah, so every belief system kind of needs to agree not to interfere with other belief systems. But that's hard to do, because of course if you have a belief system that is interested in getting rid of you, you have to interfere with it, or they'll just, you know, kill you, or whatever. You know, so if you have a belief system that doesn't believe that you are a human, which is usually how it's phrased, you know, you're not saying it's okay to kill humans. You usually just say, well, humans like us are okay, but these other people are not actually human, and that's why it's okay to kill them like other animals, or whatever, you know? And so, basically, you kind of have to find a point where you say, you know, everyone should be free to do whatever they want, as long as it doesn't interfere with someone else doing the same. And that's a hard thing to decide, like, when such a conflict occurs, whose side do you take then, you know? Like, some cases are obvious, like if someone comes and says, well, I want to kill and eat everyone else, then of course that's a belief system where you just go like, no, you can't do that, because the other people don't want to be eaten, and like every human should have a right to at least do that, you know, otherwise, you know, we won't survive as a species if everyone did that. You know, it would just end up in war and death and finally someone being left over, and, you know, so, God, that's a gory idea to talk about. I'm sorry that it gets so dark. And then, anyway, so that's kind of like a foundation that you have to agree on, but that's still very hard to actually draw a line in the sand. And that's usually where the disputes happen, you know, that someone just says, well, that, you know, shouldn't really hurt you what I'm doing, and the other person says, well, it does. And that's what makes human cohabitation and civilization so difficult. You know, like if you say, well, of course, if someone wants to kill someone else, then they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Well, what if two people want to kill each other, and neither will stop until they've reached their goal? What will you do? Like, which one of the two, you know, like, how do you stop someone? Like, you can put both in prison, if you find out early enough, but maybe then, you know, like, their friends will complain and say, hey, you're curtailing their freedom to do what they want, and then, you know, it gets difficult because there are lots of details, like most of the examples I give kind of have a solution, but then, you know, like, there's also time involved, like you might not know, like you might see one attacking the other, put that one in prison, and then the other one comes and tries to attack them in prison or whatever, and you've just, you know, made them a stationary target or whatever. Anyway, and so that's like the basic problem that you already have with humans being together, that you have to find a way to decide in a fair fashion who gets to do what they want to do when two people want to do conflicting things. You know, it could just be, you know, that there's a very beautiful spot that over the years has been used by two religions, and now you have to figure out a way for them to share it, but maybe one religion believes in, you know, like going to this mountain and admiring what nature made and not interfering with it, and the others believe in, you know, taking pieces out of that mountain and distributing it among their faithful, so they have a relic of, I don't know, their god or whatever, you know. And then so who do you agree to? The ones who want to leave the mountain in one piece, or the ones who want to actually use the mountain, you know? And you could do the same with, like, fertile fields, you know. Some people could say, well, our people were killed in these fields. They might be fertile and you might be able to make food from this, but we really want it to be memorial, and we want to say, you know, look at these fields. They could be so fertile and they could be so good, but because people died there, you know, we say, you know, we want a symbol or something. And it's just like, there's always interests colliding, and you have to decide, like, can we just send other people who want to use these fertile fields to another spot that is fertile as well, or not? And what is more important, you know? Remembering the injustice that was done, or, you know, having a little more food, maybe. And not all of it is clear cut, where it's like one group is starving if they don't get the food. And some might, you know, like, sometimes, you know, people leave an area and other people move in, and then the people who have left come back or something. Or, you know, like during wars, a coveted place goes back and forth between different groups, and then, you know, that's the problem with Israel, is that, like, what is it, 3-4 world religions have had Israel at some time and made it their holy city. And now you have the problem that whoever is in there, the others around it will go, well, we want this to be our holy city, and we don't want your unholy things in there. And everyone, you know, like, as a religion, you believe that you are doing the right thing, otherwise you wouldn't be doing this religion. And so that's what you have written there, and you will say that in your ceremonies. You know, we found out these are the truths, and we believe in them, and we will, you know, fight for them if necessary. And then if someone else comes and says, well, we believe this other thing is the truth, you know, then you get into trouble. Also, you know, like with issues like abortion or something, is something where on one hand, you know, there is, what if a woman is raped? She should be, should she really be forced to bear a child, which is a dangerous thing at the best of times, you know? Having a child is not trivial. Like, there is a lot of things going on in the woman's body that might be dangerous and that are stressful to her. And on the other hand, there are people who say, well, you cannot just kill a baby because someone did a crime to you. Like it's you cannot kill another human because a third human did something bad to you. And so that's the argument. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, who, you know, like, can you drive one human to suicide because they're having horrible mood swings and having to, you know, carry a child that they never wanted and that was forced upon them? And so those are just hard decisions, and different groups in the world have different opinions on where you draw the line. And then there are, you know, like, scientific studies that say, okay, this is the point at which something is just a chemical reaction, And this is the point where we think something has happened that is, you know, something we can't just easily do. And I mean, you can, you know, like many of the chemical reactions happening in the human body, and you know, bioelectric things, we can actually manipulate and do in a lab setting these days. Like, we can, I think we can actually create like nerve cells and things. It's just a lot of work to create a whole network of nerve cells that actually, you know, would be enough to be like a human nervous system or whatever. Things like that. So it's hard to draw a line somewhere saying where, you know, a human starts and where it's just, you know, you making Coca-Cola with the ingredients, or, you know, like the difference between intricate cooking and actually creating a human is like a continuum, and so it's hard to draw a line. And will probably, the more we know, the harder it will probably get. And so it's never really clear cut, and there will always be conflicts. And the question is, at some point, you might just have to say, well. And you know, that's what we do right now. Like, some countries make it really hard to, for example, get an abortion, which is like an example where everyone usually has an opinion on, strong in one or the other direction. So let's take that as an example, you know. And some areas in which that will be, you know, abortion will be fine, and other areas in which it will not be fine. And it's hard to make a decision, because, you know, like, you wouldn't want a murder to get away, because again, that is preventing that person from doing what they want, as long as it doesn't conflict with someone else. And on the other hand, if you've ever, you know, talked to someone who had to, you know, like if you have a pregnant woman in your family or something, then you find that you know, it's a really stressful thing, such a pregnancy. So like even if a woman agrees to me, you know, for me to father a child with her, then she's going through a lot, and I will have to support her, and I will feel bad a lot of the time, you know, for basically doing this to her. And now imagine, you know, like, if she didn't agree and still has to go through with it. I'm not saying, you know, she should be allowed to kill for that. But on the other hand, should we force her to bear this? It's, you know, it's just a rock and a hard place that we're in between. And honestly, I don't know the answer. And anyway, and so it's nice that all these religious screeds here in this lore text are like stuff in religions. You know, religions have their own laws and legal systems, because many religions are a foundation on which to build laws. Like, every legal system has some basic tenet, you know, whether it's, you know, like, for example, there is the, what is it called in the US Constitution? Like, many legal systems have a constitution which are core values that just have to be nailed down to give the rest a guide. So, like, you know, everyone is created equal, and they are entitled to the pursuit of happiness. That's something that a lot of governments in some way have as, like, their first law. Like some sort of declaration of human rights, and a declaration of where they end. and then only once you have drawn that line, you can now use that to inform the other laws you make. And also, like, who do you define to have such rights? For example, in German law, there is a funny thing where the law, what's it called? It's basically called something like base law. It's not really... Germany doesn't really have a constitution, but rather they have a base law that was created with, apparently with an aim of finishing it when Germany was reunited. And they just basically kept those laws and just said, okay, well, they're good enough, we don't have to change them when the reunification happened. And you know, at that time where they decided on this base law, the idea was the reunification will hopefully happen soon. And you know, that was always like in the back of their heads when Germany was split into East and West. But anyway, so there's a funny spot there where the definition of animals in the law is basically animals are not things, but for the purposes of this law, animals are supposed to be treated like things unless declared otherwise. You know, so they kind of went like, well, you know, you can buy and sell animals, you own animals, so we kind of like say, okay, they're not really, we take that into account in the Constitution, quote unquote, that an animal is not the same as a thing, but like all the laws we have right now let you treat them as the thing, so we'll just do it. And then later, animal protection laws were added based on that, where they said, well, we were aware back then that animals are special, and we know now that animals can, to some degree, feel pain or whatever, so, like, we prescribe that, you know, like, killing cattle in a butcher's shop has to be done humanely and things like that. And so, yeah, so like you always have a core of laws that kind of has to define something, and that's basically what this seems to be, and it's nice to read that here and see that they're actually doing it that way. So, to only the sun's rightful heir, born of the radiant line that dates back to Araman the founder, is the speaker for the sun. To him the sun's desires are revealed, and from his lips its desires are acted upon by men. He shall be known as the Sun King, and his word shall be law. Again, this is like really nice because, I mean, this is like, you know, hereditary decision of by hereditary means who will be the ruler. It's not like in democratic society that most of our listeners, I think, live in right now. The decision is that you know, you vote for your representatives at the least. You know, that's like the basic tenet of, you know, even like pretty much all over the world. There are a few places that have royalty, but most of them are constitutional monarchies, which means like you vote for most of your government, and the monarchy is just there as representatives when talking to another state. As like the UK is probably the prime example that most people think of. But now if you look at this from like from our point of view, this seems like archaic and silly. But then if you like the having the actual government be hereditary, because you say like just because, you know, he's the son of someone who was good at something doesn't mean he's good at something. You know, we have many people who have you know, and not just men either, but we have many like children who find out, yeah, they're not any good at what their parents did, because that's genetics. Sometimes it combines in a way that we like that is useful for a certain purpose, and sometimes genetics changes in the children in a way, like the combination of mother and father, that certain things just suddenly become unusual. Like if you decided who your warriors were based on hereditary means, then you might get some really big warrior with good predisposition for building muscle mass, so that's why you originally picked them as a warrior. And that person might marry someone, and the child might get glass bones. And then that's not a warrior that we want to have. He'll just go, that child, he or she, will just go out into war and probably on the way already break bones without even being in battle. So you don't really think this is good. On the other hand, if you know genetics, there is also a parts come along, so you might actually get the opposite, where by essentially breeding people to a certain purpose, you might just say, well, of course warriors only marry warriors, and that's how we breed good warriors. But since there's a certain random element and external influences and things, it doesn't always work out. And so it's like this idea of someone hereditary being predisposed towards something is not as silly as it may sound. Like right now, and I subscribe to that. I say that like you should just, like, in your laws, write, well, the strongest should be the warriors or whatever, if you even need a law for that. It's just perform some tests or something and find out whether genetics worked out for that people, or training or whatever. There might be someone who has glass bones, but he or she's just so clever. I always say he today, it's really weird. So there might be someone who is very so clever that they might make a really great general, even though you cannot have them fighting themselves. And then would you waste that talent, that intelligence? Of course not. Like if you're a tribe in like a tribal society like that, where you're still fighting for your life, then having a good general might be all that's like the others might have the same quality of warriors, but if you have the better general, you survive instead of being invaded. It's interesting here, by the way, that the Karja are different from the Nora, which is a matriarchal society. The Karja here are generally, all about men do this, men do that. In all things we accept the sun's judgment. We offer our bared skin so it might burn our sins away. We partake of its renewal, we wear its heat for a time. As our skin bears its flesh, its bronzed armor, we are made strong. In the cracking and peeling away of our old selves, we are made new. And that is kind of like, that's now we're getting into weird superstition and metaphor territory, That's also interesting. Okay. In the sun's light we shall speak, because on one thing, like this is obviously talking about sunburn, but it also says bronzed armor, so I guess that's tanning. So like they kind of conflate those two things and aren't quite. I mean, that is a fairly recent thing that we found out, that sunburn isn't just your skin going red, but actually can damage your skin lasting and can make you have cancer in old age. And back then that was just, well, if you get old, some people get more of those black splotches and others get worse, and some people die horribly and others don't. But they can't really tell cause and effect because it's so far apart. And it took like, centuries of study to finally figure out, oh, this cancer thing actually comes from sunburn, you know, like destroying your DNA, and that's what then, you know, if enough DNA is destroyed, suddenly you get, yeah, you get this illness. But it's also beautiful flavor and a beautiful idea that they thought this through and went like, of course, if they believe in the sun, they would appreciate tests like that. For in the sun's light we shall speak only in truth, we shall strike only in righteousness, and we shall act as we believe the sun so tasks us. When the shadow falls across us, we shall always remember our illumination, we shall not cast blame for ill fortune, we shall endure. In the coldness of the moon, we accept there will be stillness and death and endings until dawn comes once more. We do this because there are two halves of nature, sun and shadow, and to deny one is to deny the whole of things. That's something that all religions kind of have to cope with as well. So, you know, like, someone probably studied comparative religions or something, you know, where, I think it's called theodicy or something, I don't quite know how to pronounce it in English. It's, you know, that question, like, if God is really benevolent, why does he let, or she, why does God let bad things happen to us? And that's something where many people, you know, have given up on a religion or even a belief system when, you know, something bad happened to them, which, you know, is fair. And here they also say, like, yeah, you know, like, we have the sun, which, like, in many of our societies is like something positive and light and benevolent and warming and supportive, versus, you know, like, night, which, you know, since humans don't have that good of a night vision, and there were some nocturnal predators, you know, it's interesting that they, you know, like, it's natural for the way humans are built that night is considered something dangerous at the least, and is used as a metaphor for all the bad things that can happen to you, whereas day is the safe time. And, you know, you're asleep at night, so you're more vulnerable. 5. As of twilight time came before us, ending the world of the ancients. So that's our world, essentially, the apocalypse. So shall the twilight time come again, for this is the cycle of things. The buried shadow shall rise up to eclipse the sun's light and usher in great and terrible change. Even knowing this, we are steadfast in our belief and trust that the sun will again bring a new dawn, as it did for our founders so long ago. So that's kind of like shit happens, basically. And it's also a good way of presenting, you know, background of the game. So it's generally known that there was a civilization before the one the people in this game live in now. And they believe in, like, the duality of good and evil, basically, and say that, you know, there are good times and bad times, but, you know, it gets better, basically. 6. Holy Meridian shall forever be the seat of the Karja, the city of the sun, and the spire venerated as the mark of its founding. A Sun King born of the radiant line shall always sit upon its throne, for without a speaker for its son, its will is clouded. For either of these to be denied is to invite a twilight time upon us. And again, this is a paragraph that, you know, is bound to cause trouble between different religions, because, you know, we've heard that I think I suspected at the time that the Karja might be Nora, because they said something about coming from the east. So they might have been part of the Nora tribe at some time, and then left because they were not allowed to, you know, like, look at the metal ruins and things. And the Nora will cast out anyone who, you know, goes spelunking in the metal ruins, in the ruins of our world as the viewers. And so they say here, for one thing, you know, like, you need a descendant of the original founder of the city to be the Sun King. And so what do they do if the last Sun King dies and that his children as well, or whatever? At least here it says the line, so at least they're smart enough that it might be, they might have a woman there, which is unusual for the Karja. And then, yeah, and then they tie themselves to Meridian, to that one city on that one mountain. Which, you know, like, the Spire is a machine world place. 7. Clearly the Karja are the children of the sun and preeminent in its gaze, but so too does its light touch upon the barbarian tribes of the north, east, and south. It is the speaker for the sun's duty to interpret if the sun's gaze is directed in approval or reproach. So determined it is the duty of the Karja to carry out the sun's will, even in places where the light does not reach. And that again is basically lifted, like not literally, but like all the bullet points that you would summarize this to are lifted from what the US think about themselves. And I think it's partially in the Constitution, at least, of the United States of America. You know, because they say, hey, we're the chosen people. And, you know, like our God, the sun, kind of preeminent in its gaze, so we're like, yeah, chosen people is all of that, basically. Like many religions have that as well, but like, funnily, it's also in some constitutions that, and you know, and it says like, we're, you know, allowed to enforce our laws elsewhere in the world because we know that we have such good laws, basically, is what this says. Or at least, you know, like we're chosen by the sun in this case. I guess it's a little more arbitrary. And you know, like even in places where the light does not reach, the places where the light reaches are, you know, Karja territory. Okay, so I guess we've read that. I should probably stop wasting time because I think I talked 20 minutes about this little bit of text and about philosophy in general. Oh, let's find a merchant then. And take the loot that is here.
Meridian. Couldn't imagine living anywhere else.
Okay, yeah, I guess if we just follow the markers here, we can find a merchant, get our fast travel pack, and get a head start. And then we'll go to Maker's End, where apparently we're supposed to find...
There's a guard under the last king.
Let's see what this merchant sells. Weapons, resources. Why doesn't it let me buy this? Oh, resources satchel is full. Wait. Okay, so let's sell some stuff. For one thing, we can sell our existing fast travel packs. I will buy this one. You'll see me buying this later in the stream.
Should be out there fighting machines, not...
Alright, and now we can fast travel wherever we want without having to worry about running out. So, okay, up here is the farthest we can get. And then maybe I might remind ourselves what Maker's End actually is all about. So it's a place where apparently, like it's apparently a installation from the ancient people, so from us as the viewers, different from us as the Nora in-game, as some place where we might find more information. The Banuk Sickness Eater outfit protects against corruption damage. Unlock the Tinker skill. Yeah, we already did that. To remove and reuse modification items previously slotted into weapons and outfits. That's actually, I think that's one of the most useful skills, because in the beginning you don't get that many modifications, and modifications you only get from loot drops. Okay, so let's make the right quest. The current one, I don't know why this doesn't. Maker's End, okay. And I forgot to call this up. Aloy seeks to learn more about the mysterious woman who looks like her among the crumbling ruins of an ancient city. Oh right, Olin told us that he went there and, you know, got, saw a picture of that Aloy-looking woman. Let's just quickly get some medicinal plants, if we can.
These will keep.
What are our... No, we're not full on arrows. We don't have enough blaze. Okay. So we might have to fight a few machines on the way. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we're supposed to cross on that bridge, I guess. Or that, I don't think it's even a full bridge, it's just a walkway through the water. Alright, let's get going then. Let's blow out our ears and celebrate. Let's get going. I really need to reduce the volume on that one, I think. Alright. I should probably see... Oh, there are horses on the left. So I think I'll probably take a detour. Let's do a quick save here, just in case. Okay, up there I see a few striders, good. Have to start sneaking soon enough before I drive them away. Where are they? Over there. Okay, so let's sneak over here. They're all looking backwards, so I can hopefully get one of those and then hack them. And quickly, right away. Drive it like you stole it. Come on, come on. Is still after me. Let's see for how long. Okay, I think it has ended. Good.
Maker's End. Not much farther now. Olin said he found an image of the woman using an ancient device. If she's my mother, why would would there be traces of her all the way out here? So far from Norland. I don't get it. Who is she?
Her name is Elizabeth Sobek.
You! Spying through my focus again? Well, go on. What do you know about her?
Stay on your present course, and before long, you'll know her as well as I do. Maybe better. But be wary. Maker's End is crawling with Eclipse troops. To help you deal with them, I've left some useful equipment just outside the ruins. Your focus will show the location.
Alright.
Who is he and how does he know these things? He said Elizabeth Sobek. What kind of name is that?
Fight to the
Destroy you!
Gonna cut you down proper.
Alright, we got a bunch of bandits. Let's loot them then. Okay, so we found out that her name is Elizabeth Sobek, which seems to be a surprising normal name. Surprisingly. Who are you? Oh, it's our friend Nil again.
I waited for you. Time passing pulls the anticipation tight as wire. How many has it been now?
I don't keep count, Nil.
Don't keep count. Sometimes I just don't get you. Are you like us, or a little different?
Hopefully a little different.
That's what you're gonna tell yourself. Shall we get started?
Okay, so I guess we can decide what to do. So here's a bandit camp on the way. And here's an equipment stash. Okay, we'll have to pass that anyway. And then there's ruins. So I guess let's do the bandit camp then. Find a spot where we can hide.
Braids will take forever to dry.
Is that all? There are probably more. Oh, there's 2 heavies at least. So let's sneak down here. I don't think I see the alarm yet. Well, I guess who cares? Guess that's all I can see from here. Oh, there's someone that I forgot to tag. Oh no, I didn't forget to tag, but just didn't see. And there's someone more. There's another heavy. Goodness gracious. There are a few more people here. We have everyone now. Still not seeing. Still not seeing the other, the alarm, though. So I've got at least 3 heavies, if not 4. Wrong button. I can't really... get close enough. I think this camp is large enough that I actually can't tag everyone. Oh yeah, it's actually 4 heavies. Without, you know, losing others at least. I can't tag everyone. This might be a mistake. Yeah. Okay, at least I didn't alert anyone. So I guess we'll try to sneak in here somewhere. Try to get the non-heavies out of the way first. Whoops.
Sorry to spoil your fun.
Oh, overlooked that one.
This is gonna look real good on you. Go! Wanna play? Here's your invitation.
Didn't do that. Death from above thing here, I think. Let's run around a little. Maybe hide. Okay.
You can see them. They can't see you.
Oh, I think someone sees us. Don't know who. Where do they come from? Oh, hello? Hey.
Gonna get you.
Come on. Yeah, good. Nil again. Not helping at all, which I guess is what nil stands for? No. Oh. Okay. Luckily he has horrible aim. Or she, whoever I killed there. Whoops.
I'll finish
Bill
you.
isn't doing too well, really. Whoops.
it's getting picked up!
Alright.
Where'd you go, chap?
So we can play with heavy weapons.
Got you located!
Where else? Over there somewhere. Okay. So let's see.
Sun's gonna shine.
Okay. Where else? Somewhere over there, I guess. Attack it. Okay, Nil's doing some work finally. And I guess we did it. Okay. So yeah, not super stealthy, but at least there are enough corners behind which I could hide.
Got anything better to do?
Jiran watched the Oseram bleed in the Sun Ring. Sun King Avad appoints them to the government.
Could go for a drink and a bite.
Alright, so is there anything we have to... Oh, yeah. I guess they want us to go back and talk to
Never
Nil
let anyone
some
say the
more.
car just slack off. As the sun witnesses, we put our backs in.
Alright, I should probably try to loot some more.
Been doing this since
It's always funny, like the descriptions of the items that you collect that are old, you know, like ancient black bracelet. The picture shows a analog watch, and then ancient bright bracelet, and you see the picture shows digital watch.
We are paying for Sun King Jiran's sin.
Alright,
As you mark my words.
let's see what we can grab from everyone, maybe. Metal shards.
Got too much already.
Yeah, I know. It's always annoying. All these loot. And to be running around here and having your pockets full. Oh wait, can I upgrade my... let's see. Resource satchel upgrade. Warbone. Okay, no, we can't upgrade yet.
A Nora here? This far from the Savage East?
So at the least we can take all those metal shards. And health potions. Yes, thank you. Supply crates. Really like
Forget
if
about
they kept
traveling
some
light.
blaze here. Okay. Guess, come on, let's just collect everything we can. We're at least almost full up on health potions again, which is good. Luckily, halfway through I remembered to switch to health potions instead of using up my my medicinal pouch herbs again. It's always something that is a bit annoying when I forget it. Like I annoy myself basically. Not the game's fault. I often like use the herbs because it's just faster than switching to the health potions. Which of course means then afterwards I have to run around and find more medicinal herbs, which are like widely distributed across the area, after having to leave behind a whole bunch of health potions that were just in a group of human enemies that I could have used instead, you know, to refill health potions I'd used. But since I still have all my health potions, I can't take additional ones.
These little moments are refreshing, aren't they?
That could be the least creepy thing you've said to me.
That glimpse of yourself in their eyes just as the cloud of death passes across them.
Never mind. There it goes. You know, Nil, if you get tired of bandits, there's a group called the Eclipse.
That's a political situation.
They're murderers, and they're raising an army of machines. That's a little more than politics.
Don't hate me for being single-minded. Besides, I wouldn't bet on how long the Shadow Cards are going to last, if you're in for the kill.
We've come a long way from Norland. Where have you been, Nil?
I heard the roads of the Sundom were no longer safe. And thankfully, it was true. Ambushes, raiding parties, even corrupted machines. The mortal wounds just opened themselves to accept my arrows. But you knew this already. You've been walking on the edge of life and death. I can tell.
Yeah. It's a long story.
With many quick endings, I hope.
Goodbye, Nil.
I don't want to alarm you, but the bandits are thinning out. Makes you wish you could kill them more than once, doesn't it?
No, once is enough.
You're right, of course. Once is enough. When you really make it count.
Okay, goodbye, Nil.
I love the idea of him. It's... I think this is also, like, I've read articles on, like, sociopaths and things like that. People like that, I should probably say. Because, you know, like, why do we have sociopaths today? You would think, like, evolution would have eliminated people who are impossible to get along with, you know? But on one hand, you know, sociopaths are, you know, can be more easily ruthless killers. So, of course, you know, they might just survive more because they kill the other person first, who realized what they were. You know, like speaking in, you know, like primitive Stone Age, it's always life or death and things like that. But, and also sociopath is a good trait for a warrior. Because a normal person, if you tell them go over there and bash that other person's head in, it'll stay with them, you know, and that really, you know, like some will probably, you know, get depressed, take their life or whatever, you know, get PTSD, that sort of thing. Whereas, you know, sociopathic traits are kind of useful in that context as a protection. So, sociopaths in, you know, tribal, dangerous, Stone Age or whatever, Bronze Age times, were probably a useful adaptation. Like, I mean, sometimes they were, you know, like, if you had a sociopath as a chieftain or something, then, you know, like, your entire tribe might be screwed. Or at least would be the aggressor and would finally invite other tribes to band together and, you know, take your tribe out or something. But still, you know, there is a reason why, you know, evolutionally, sociopaths might you know, survive. And so, and Nil is an example of that. Yeah, there were people back then who were really just interested in, you know, battle and killing and things like that, and didn't really see anything bad about it. And the ones, you know, that don't turn up as your enemies, as bandits or whatever, because, you know, like, if you're a sociopath, naturally you would be drawn to, you know, bandits and other... Oops, wait, and other opportunities for you. And, you know, living as a bandit kind of lets you live out your sociopathic traits a little more. If you just... And, you know, like the successful sociopath is the one that... what is it called? Highly functioning sociopath, I think is what one psychological description, or well, I'll stop because I never studied psychology, so I shouldn't throw around the terms from that. So anyway, so yeah, a sociopath, whoops, what's that? Oh. Those tramplers? Oh, I remember this spot. I think the last time I tried to go and save here, I got into a battle with those people, those machines. Anyway, yeah, and so Nil is a, you know, a very functional sociopath that has found his niche, because he knows, and he's clever enough to realize that he will get killed if he just randomly goes around killing people. So he figures out, like, the societal norms about who is socially acceptable to kill.
Might be able to take them out one by one and stay out of sight. Eclipse, just like you said.
Oh, it's still further over there. Oh.
Well, report.
Some more loot over there.
Let's get this over with.
God!
I just killed someone in front of them, but because it was a stealth kill, it doesn't count. Well, anyway, so people like that weren't unusual, you know, like, and were probably like the best mercenaries were probably the one that you could just hire and they wouldn't. Am I suddenly no longer hidden? It's weird.
How
do I get up there?
To me! Let's take her down!
Alright. Gotcha.
You hiding from me?
Still sniffing around.
I won't quit till I find you.
Well, I'm right under you, so yeah, oh, but there's stairs here, I
Got
think.
eyes on them.
Ah. Alright, let's see if we can... No, I guess you don't have a health potion. Do you have one? Not either. Well, otherwise we would have had 12, so I guess none of them had it yet. Excuse me. I hope I got the microphone far away enough. Or far enough away, actually. If word order you prefer correct. Word order.
Snow. It's not getting any warmer out here.
It's, word order is Swedish. No, it isn't. But, you know, it sounds like the Swedish chef, I guess. Oh, there's a stash of stuff. Let's see what gifts we get.
Right where he said it would be.
A shock coil, a rope caster, and blaze.
Not a bad selection. I'll put those to use. Why are you doing this?
Because I want you to succeed. Good hunting. We'll talk later.
Interesting, it's just about enough for one full...
Wait! Damn him.
For one full set of rope caster ammo with what I had. I guess that's good. Alright, quick save. No. Yeah, we'll just... Oh, I forgot something back there. Just realized there was another data point in front of the door. Let's go back there before we continue. Don't want to leave out any of the nice lore. What was it? Ah, here. Odyssey to Nowhere. Funeral for an Obsolete Future, an Odyssey to Nowhere. Paris, July 7th, 2057. 25 persons from 5 nations stand before the offices of Odyssey Euro West, hands clasped solemnly at their waists or held stiffly at their sides. Some are politicians, some are businessmen, these days is their difference. Some are scientists. Slowly Gerhard Weitz steps to the podium. I regret to announce that as of today the Odyssey is no more. What exists of the vessel will be abandoned in orbit. All personnel will collect severance income and be released from their contracts. The sad fact is that our species' greatest hope for an extraplanetary future was never able to escape the gravity of terrestrial, all-too-human conflicts. Weitz sighs. Perhaps the innovations we pioneered will help improve the lives of future generations. Time will tell. Okay, so that sounds like they tried to build a spaceship and didn't succeed. Come on. No, well, we can walk over that as well, yeah. I wanted you to go around, but... Fine. Do what makes you happy.
Corrupted vultures. Acting as guards. The Eclipse and corrupted machines. Cooperating. One happy family.
No. I wanted to loot, not mount. Even if it's the same key. Oh.
Okay.
Gotcha. What did I leave behind now? A small machine core, okay. So let's see who and what is here. Why are they all sitting on the ground? I think. Is that an alarm? No. Yes, maybe. I don't really know.
Over here! It's hurt!
Okay. Even though they yell, it's still counted as a stealth kill. That's good. Oh. Damn it, missed you. Ooh. That was a close one. Missed the first shot, but luckily managed to land the second. Here. Oops. Hello? Did I get everyone? I think so. Let's see what the scanner says. Looks good. Only loot around
These
me.
dig sites, they're massive.
Oh, I can't take the blaze? That's not good. Wait, let's step away. Inventory, resources. What can I drop? I guess chill water I don't really need. Alright, I have more blaze. So let's go down here and loot the rest. And then continue. So, we learned from Olin that they are digging out more corruptors. I guess they found a whole lot of them.
Can't spare the weight.
Okay, more blaze, that's good. Always good to have more blaze in these situations. Oh, and we have 3 skill points to spend. Strike from below and leader strike. Strong strike plus, dodge prowess, quiet sprint. Let's take that so we can quickly change positions. We always wanted that one. And then I guess we'll make the horsey easier or something. We shall see. More enemies. We shall see. It's rather dark here, isn't it? Let's see if we can attract someone here.
These ruins. What did the old ones do here?
Yay! Free health potion. Oh, whoa, whoa. Corrupted. Watchers. Oh no, and a corruptor as well. That'll be fun. I don't think someone over there saw me or the dead one. Hide here. Alright, so given those are watchers and corruptors, I should probably try to get a few tripwires in place.
And I'll make it quick.
Not sure if that's a good location though. But hey, maybe if I have to retreat or something. Or if I can place something over there. Someone through there.
Not close enough.
Oops. I wonder if a half-placed
The snow's so bright out here.
if you walked into my tripwire. Is there any cover down there? Let's sneak up there. Oh, it'll just run past it? Okay. That's curious. I'm trying to be sneaky here. Come on, run into my traps. I guess I can... Oh. good. That was way too close to me because it bounced off of... See if that attracts anyone into... Why do you walk around? Oh, it ran into it. Good.
Don't mind me.
Is over here. That's not good.
I suppose it was nothing.
The wire isn't long enough.
Carp.
Going in.
I wanted to attract the robot.
Got something.
Oh, I think I got the human instead. Oh. Let's see if we can get the human up here.
Huh?
Maybe there's enough tripwire. Yes.
There's still
nice. I wonder if I can get around this place. Approach from another side where there might be cover. There seems to be cover
Looks
there.
like I'm clear. Try and go back. Find a way around where hopefully we won't be seen. Place some more tripwires.
mind me. I can sneak up here, it seems. There's another bit of hiding space.
Right. No one here.
How can I get closer?
Calm.
But I guess that's how they do the difficulty in these levels, is that in later levels you get to you get fewer opportunities to hide. Oh. Not too good. Whoops. Oops.
Got a body over here!
This is no place for a soldier. All rope burning, frost black, chopping at hard ground. And this sunfall.
Let's see if we can lure you over here.
What the?
That looks good. Uh-oh. You see me? Whoops. Oops. I should probably run away quickly. I don't think they saw me. Good. Oh, someone's coming here. Who is that?
Finally.
Alright. One more. That's how you get rid of them. Oh, there's one that isn't tagged. Be nice to see like which of the tagged machines are gone. Like if it said, hey, you just blew up a corruptor or something. Music.
Just stay out of their way for now.
Oh no. That didn't work.
A corruptor. That might prove a challenge.
Wait, it didn't see me? That's nice.
Getting soaked from melted snow.
again. Could of course just walk out into the open and drop a few traps. Okay. Let's hide here. See who is still around. Only the Corruptor? Did I get all the people? And all the others. That's nice. That, or they're just too hard to see on all this yellow, with the yellow and all this snow. So I might actually have to attract the Corruptor and then run over there, I guess. Maybe I can... Let's see, inventory, treasure boxes. Some of them probably contain more rocks, right? Or more blaze, that's also good. The metal shards I can probably take as well. More blaze. Metal shards. Is this shock potion? Sure. Okay, no additional rocks, but hey. I think this is the most I've used rocks in this game. To try and attract some enemies. I guess I could place some more traps. Whoops, okay. That might not have been what I intended to do. So if I can lure him, it...
With them fighting at our side, Meridian will be ours once more.
Where are you? I don't see a cultist dredger. That has me worried a little bit.
So much for being careful.
Let's see if we can lure you at least into these spots. Oh, I found the dredger, I guess. bunch of rocks here.
I'd have to ditch something.
Come on. Pick up rocks. Hello. You want to come here? See if I can do that without setting myself on fire.
No, wire's too short. Gotcha.
Not too happy. Come here. Yes. That worked surprisingly well. Go to the ruins, it says again, so I guess I've got them all.
Can't carry more.
So let's then collect all our traps and wires again, I suppose. Oh, this is good. I'm trying to remember if did I take any damage? I don't think so. The other side, I did set up a lot of traps that I never really triggered. But you never know where they walk, so hey. Alright, let's collect all the other traps. We might need them at some point. Oh, there was one more trap. And the tripwires I count among traps as well because that's their function. Like here, this is this whole labyrinth of stuff where I thought I was standing out there, so I thought, you know, the corruptor would see me, but apparently
Should have brought a cart.
at this point the corruptor is very nearsighted. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, we haven't equipped our rope caster that we got yet. Let's see. What does it do? Damage and tear. So we can do tear handling. Freeze this. Okay. Let's go for tear, I think. Oh, and still haven't equipped it. Alright. That worked surprisingly well. I like because when you place the traps, you know, they don't know where you are. Like, even if you use the sling you know, where essentially it comes like from above you, so you can't really see who threw it. Even then they usually know where you are. That's why I like the traps so much, because you can just be sneaky and attack them
Already.
from somewhere in safety. Should I be worried that they're leaving so many crates around for me? That doesn't sound good.
An explosion.
How are we traps-wise? Quite full. Okay. Alright, that's really noisy over there. Be less loud, please.
Snow chill. Itches.
Whoa. That was a nice one. They got me with the controller vibration this time. Usually controller vibrations aren't that great, but like sometimes you see sometimes it works well, like here with the rumbling,
Might regret this.
the actual audio rumbling, I mean.
Rotate turret! And fire! All weapons operational. Time to get it moving, and be quick about it. No daydreaming. Soon this demon will be another deathbringer to
Has to be one of the Deathbringers Olin talked about. Fitting name. I'll never get into that tower. Unless I destroy that thing first.
Right, so do we do that then? First, let's scan it. Deathbringer weakness, electricity and fire, strength and corruption. Bunch of watchers. Alright. Let's see if we can do this a little more stealthily. interested in me, are you?
It stopped working.
I've disabled his focus. The rest is up to you.
I'll handle it. Steam's blasting out. I wonder if those are weak points.
So let's try to get the humans first.
To me, bro.
Whoops. Let's run away. It's always a good choice.
Here we are.
Whoops. Where does that come from? Ah.
You will perish.
More up there. Okay. Maybe use a health potion. Oops. I think he's shooting at a mountain.
Hitting that thing really hurt it.
Yeah, those are weak points apparently. Oops. Oops. Okay, so it knows I'm back here. That wasn't too good. So that timer might be useful. Whew! That was faster than the first time I did it.
Those things pack a punch. All right. That Eclipse officer had a focus. Let's see what's on it.
Okay. After looting, of course. Freeze, can we? Inventory modifications. Let's see, we can probably 20. Oh, that's weave. I don't have any freeze weaves. Oh. Let's see, I think some of these shock. Okay. Let's see if those dropped items don't give me space. And then let's run further. But yeah, the first time I kept running out, and I think one of my mistakes was I was using fire arrows. And fire arrows make targets susceptible to damage, but they cause little damage.
No space.
And that of course means it didn't really you know, it turned around and attacked me. Very quickly. Oh.
Let's see what you have to say. What is this?
The entity lives. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Ooh, booby traps.
What the hell was that? Hades? Hey! Mysterious stranger, did you see that? No answer, huh? Figures. Things just keep getting stranger. I need to find a way inside the tower.
Ooh, resist shockweave, fire coil, and freeze coil, and crystal brazing. And a lot of metal shards. That's nice. Someone did not pick up. One of the weaves. No. We're not leaving any good modifications behind. Let's drop this one.
I'd have to leave something else behind.
Okay. So at least we've got that. Okay, and now this is a spot that, if you want to return here, remember that location. Like, because there's no more mission in here.
It's tight, but I can squeeze through.
But you might want to revisit this place. Unless you do exactly what I do here right now. Well, later, actually.
Hold for identiscan.
One of these again.
Genetic profile confirmed. Entry authorized. Greetings, Dr. Sobak. Please step inside.
So it thinks we are Mommy Dearest, apparently. Discovered Pharaoh automatic solutions. Search for information about Elizabeth. So
You are 355,510 days overdue for your meeting with Mr. Pharaoh. Please proceed to the 35th floor.
Wait. 350,000. That's hundreds of years ago. What's going on?
right, I guess we want to go down. No, not up. Down. Sometimes Aloy is a little hard of hearing. What's this? Anything useful here? Doesn't look like it. Metal ruins. But hey. Nothing continues here. Okay. That's a common thing in map design, is to make these dead-end corridors. Like, I mean, there's a door here. That's usually what you do to make it look like, yeah, it would go on, but it doesn't. But that means you don't have to do the rest of the map. Like, if you see here, like, this is probably all of the map that they did, just this network of a few rooms. But since they have a few doors going off into some of the empty spaces, you can kind of say, okay, this is a much larger area, and it feels like that to the player, which is really nice. But of course it means that, you know, like, you sometimes walk down a corridor and there's nothing there still. So, like, it's always a compromise between making it look, I mean, if I had just, you know, like, I'm exploring here. Otherwise, if you stick to just where it shows you the objectives, then of course you'd never notice that. Then you also wouldn't notice that.
The protocols use polyphasic entangled waveforms, quantum encryption, black quartz stuff, way beyond military grade. That's what you demanded. So that's what we delivered.
You don't code something you can't crack. All we need is a backdoor. Upload the latest service pack update and the problem goes away.
You specifically forbade us from leaving anything resembling a backdoor in code. Every protocol to Black Quartz standard. Your words. Look, if you need me to fudge some projections, it's nothing we haven't done before.
I don't need fudged projections. I need a way to reassert control over the Heart's Timor swarm.
I don't know what to tell you, Ted. You're asking the impossible.
So, codes. They needed codes of some kind to control the machines. But they got out of control. Sounds bad.
It does sound bad, yeah. Just so our inventory is as empty as can be, let's craft some more stuff. Perhaps some potions, detonating blast trap, good. Boost potion, oh, good as well. Resist fire potion. Alright. Oh, what is this? Ropecaster ammo pouch. Alright.
Might need this.
Guess we have everything now. Oh wait, let's try to grab this stuff again, just in case. Yeah, I'll actually pick up a few more things. Still no chill water, but hey. Aren't really using anything with chill water much right now. So yeah, I guess we're slightly... Well, if she says you're this late for the meeting, the question is, was there an important meeting? And that they didn't make.
A Deathbringer. Or a statue of one, anyway. A machine built to kill. And they honored it?
Welcome to Feral Automated Solutions, where all the problems of tomorrow are being solved today. With over 25,000 human employees based in nations and corporate holdings across the globe, Feral leads the world in every sector of self-sustaining, fully automated technology. From revolutionary consumer products close to home, like the Faro Focus, to the dynamic chariot line of peacekeeping robots halting bloodshed in conflict zones across the globe, Faro remains committed to making the future smarter, brighter, safer, and always surprising. Faro Automated Solutions. For every problem of life, a smart solution.
So they made the Focus. 25,000 people? That's bigger than a tribe. So they made machines and devices. I guess those things were common in their world.
Reception log. 9:54 a.m. Field Commandant Deng of the Indo-Malay Agricultural Combine arrived with his delegation. Refreshments to be served. Refreshments to be served before the 10:15 a.m. sales presentation on the chariot line. Per instructions, food will be vegetarian only. 10:07. Sender Anu, Vice President of Territorial Integrity from Fresh Grounds Coffee Global, arrived with his entourage. Refreshments to be served before their 10:30 a.m. sales presentation on the chariot line. Per instructions, will use Fresh Grounds Tacoma blend, not artificial creamers. 10:12 a.m. So that happened, called security and janitorial to clean up the coffee that was spilled. Actually, more like thrown. I wasn't aware that the Indo-Malay Combine grows coffee beans, and that Fresh Ground's acquisition team has tried to take their fields by force repeatedly. I think Commandant Dang had Agnew by the hair for a second there. Who schedules these things? I'm going to drop a line to sales. This can't happen again.
What was this place? What were they doing here?
Why did we suddenly get a bio? Tax data points. Elizabeth Sobeck, born March 11th, 2020, is an American scientist, roboticist.
It was a corporation. A group of people not unlike a tribe. And they made machines.
Yeah, go on.
I've uploaded some data files to your focus. They'll help you understand.
Okay. That was why we got this. Let's just skip over all of those so the exclamation marks are gone. Okay, Elizabeth Sobeck. Is an American scientist, roboticist, and engineer widely regarded as one of the greatest minds of the 21st century. Born and raised outside Carson City, Nevada, she enrolled at Stanford University at age 13, earning a BS, Bachelor of Science, by the way, not other extensions of BS, in experimental physics and computer science at age 16. She completed a PhD in robotics and artificial intelligence design at Carnegie Mellon University in 2014, and joined Faro Automated Solutions as a junior scientist the same year, rising quickly to chief scientist at the age of 22. Over the next 8 years, her green robot designs played a vital role in realizing the environmental cleanup and detoxification efforts of the clawback decade, propelling Faro Automated Systems to the forefront of its field. In 2048, she suddenly resigned from Faro, protesting the company's pivot to automated military technologies. Protesting the company's pivot to automated military technologies. In 2049, she founded Miriam Technologies, a firm devoted to life-positive robotics and other technologies. Miriam has since become one of the world's largest suppliers of green robots, winning numerous awards and accolades, including the 2053 Nobel Prize for Physics and the 2056 Rachel Carson Award for Environmental Progress. Ted Faro. Theodore Ted Faro, born December 24, 2013, is an American entrepreneur and business magnate. He is the founder of Faro Automated Solutions, the largest corporation of all time, the world's wealthiest individual, and the first ever trillionaire. Born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah, he enrolled at the University of California, Los Angeles, where he studied business for 2 years before dropping out in 2033 to start Faro. Though it struggled at first, the company broke through at the end of the troubled 2030s with its popular lines of personal servitors and bodyguard bots, then exploded when its famous line of green robots led the race to solve the climate crisis during the 2040s clawback. At the end of that decade, Faro opened a military defense branch, dominating the world market for automated military platforms by 2053. The success of Faro has made Mr. Faro the world's best-known businessman, one of its most sought-after speakers, and major voice in politics, culture, and in international affairs. History of Faro. Faro Automated Systems is an American multinational corporate entity that produces robots for all walks of life. Through its core business consists of military and defense contracts. As of 2063, Faro is ranked number 1 among the Fortune 5 by gross revenue and profit for 10 years in a row, a world record. Founded in 2033 by Theodore Ted Faro, an entrepreneur from Salt Lake City, Utah. The company developed several Promising robot prototypes in its early years, but failed to break into markets dominated by then industry giants like General Synthetics and ReCorp. This changed in 2038 with the debut of the At Alfred line of levitating personal servitors, which generated exceptional sales, lifting the company onto the Fortune 50 for the first time. Profits tripled in the 2040s as the company's environmental efforts, led by famed engineer Elizabeth Sobeck, catapulted Faro to the head of that sector. In 2049, in the wake of successful green and climate cleanup efforts around the globe, worldwide approval ratings of Faro exceeded 90%, and founder Ted Faro was hailed across media and social networks as the man who saved the world. Yet it was the emergence of Faro as a military contractor in the late 2040s that cemented its status as the world's wealthiest corporation. With a record market capitalization of over 23 trillion, by 2055 Faro controlled 61% of the market share for automated military platforms, holding contracts with 353 nations. Trans-governmental organizations and corporate entities. Today its holdings exceed the second largest corporation, FB Mobi HAL Global, by 321%. Definition: corporation. An association of individuals created under authority of law, having existence, powers, and liabilities distinct from those of its members. In a business sense, a corporation is usually owned by shareholders through the sale or distribution of stock, who profit from such ownership, vote at designated times for its governance, and designate executives who run its affairs. Most corporations engage in one or more industries to produce goods or offer services for profit, and may in turn own other corporations, companies, or properties as holdings. Alright. I think that's where we came from, so let's look here. The music's a little creepy right now.
Now I know this must seem like a bizarre change in direction. I mean, we're Faro Automated Solutions, right? #1 robotics firm in the world. Why would we clear our production slate to fabricate human-operated vehicles and weapon systems, the relics of the past? All I can say at this juncture is... trust me, we will be exploiting a massive, growth opportunity by retooling and reallocating capacity according to my plan. So I will need revised projections of mass fabrication velocity across every pipeline within 36 hours.
So they were making machines, but then they stopped to make other kinds of weapons? Why? The air. There's no smell to it, not even old death. Nothing natural.
There's a hole in the wall, but I can't see anything. Text mail, Ted Faro's office. From J. Friedkin to reception. Subject: read complaint. Hey reception, if that is your real name. Wanna know who scheduled Indo Malay right next to Fresh Grounds? That would be me, Senior VP of Sales. Wanna know why? After that little hair-pulling incident, both sides increased their bids by 40%. I'll explain, because your receptionist level brain probably requires it. Those two sides are fighting. And what do we sell? That's right, combat machines. We want them to hate each other, so they will try to fight each other with what? That's right again, combat machines, which they will pay us a lot of money for. So I suggest you go back to serving coffee with a blank smile and let me do my much more complicated job. Thanks a bunch, Mr. Friedkin, to you. Or morally bankrupt to you.
Another cave-in. But I could get through.
see where this leads us. Whew. This is the first time I didn't fall down. Last time they dropped me here, which is really mean. I'm just wondering if any of this is useful in... Oh, no, I can't. Okay. So I just have to find a way up. So there are climby bits over there. Not here, so I guess I have to drop down. Otherwise I can't advance. Okay, oh, but here is a ladder,
Looks
okay.
like I can climb here.
Let's see what this is. Oh. Some more stuff. Oh, potion and chill water, oh well. No. Back down again. Nope.
I'll bet I can use that as a ramp to get back up.
That's, the hints are a little strong here. I wonder if that's like only because I'm playing on easy. The problem is, you know, like I play on easy because I don't like the combat. I'm not too much a fan of combat. I'm not too good at it. But puzzles I don't mind, so it's I mean, some games offer like methods to, you know, like set combat and other difficulties separately, which would be nice.
Looks like the way up. What's left of it.
What is down here? Projector.
The FSP-5 Khopesh provides a one-size-fits-all solution to main battle force capability. Metamaterial construction delivers unmatched recoil dampening, allowing you to field any weapon package that conforms to your budget needs and conflict resolution profile. Patented biomass conversion systems allow extended emergency operations with minimal environmental impact. Multilinear target processing provides simultaneous real-time threat analysis and legal review for autonomous domestic operations. Or control can be slaved to the swarm's neural network for weapons-free force application. Either way, when it's time to call out the big guns, it's time to call Khopesh.
The Deathbringer. So this was the heavy hitter. Main battle force indeed.
Okay, so we learned something about that. What does this one say? Same thing?
The BOR-7 Horus. Imagine your complete engagement ecosystem comprehensively managed by a high-speed learning machine network. Whether your need is to replace battlefield losses or intensify force projection, the Horus's onboard manufacturing capabilities mean you'll never get stuck waiting for the next arms delivery. Simply redefine your force parameters, and the Horus will fabricate additional units to fill the ranks for an affordable per-unit licensing fee. Meanwhile, the biomass conversion systems of other Chariot line models allow them to keep the Horus fueled, repaired, and ready, extending its operational tolerances beyond that of any competing Titan-class platform. That's the Horus advantage. Always regulating, always ready. The future of automated warfare made real today.
The Metal Devil. So these were Faro machines too. Manufacturing capabilities. They can make more of themselves. Then how would you ever stop them?
The plot thickens. So the metal devils were the manufacturing ones. So I guess it's good that those are gone, so that, but then I guess the cauldrons are still there, which is weird.
The ACA-3 Scarab combines conventional and information warfare capabilities in one package. Designed for high-speed, all-terrain reconnaissance, it boasts the world's highest survivability rating of any Scout-class autonomous agent. Maybe it's the Scarab's emergency biomass conversion systems that ensure it always makes it back to base, even if fuel supply lines have been interdicted. Or maybe it's the Scarab's ability to slave enemy robots to its own network. Now that's force multiplication. Add a prehensile manipulator arm that can handle a host of functions, from 360-degree less lethal riot management to surgical repairs of Allied chariot line models, and you've got the workhorse of any cutting-edge peacekeeping fleet.
The Corruptor. Slave enemy robots to its own network. It sounds like it's talking about how it corrupts machines.
Okay, so the Corruptor was intended to let you take over the enemy army robots and capture them. Make them work for you. Goodness gracious. Any other... Yeah, stand on the table. Sure, why not? Alright, I guess we'll continue. I think I'll run over a little today just because this is such a nice spot and I think I want to finish this location.
It'll be a long way up. Frozen metal most of the way. Not making this easy, Dr. Sobek.
Are we leaving behind? Shock traps, okay.
If
Yeah,
Vance
so
can find a way to hang on up here, guess I can too.
it's really heavy on the hints, and I'm wondering if that's yeah, like general for the game or just in easy mode. I guess one day I'll have to go and say, hey, now I'll play it on hard, or not on hard, but like on normal or whatever, on a harder mode. Or I can hope that they one day let me specify, yeah, don't give me as much puzzle hints, as many, I mean.
That began when they engaged in unauthorized offensive operations against robots and human personnel of the Hearts Timor Energy Combine. Now, I wish that I could relate that the crisis has been exaggerated, but it's not. The Peacekeepers have not responded to stand-down codes, and by all signs, they appear to be replicating at a precipitous rate. Now, what I can promise you, can absolutely assure you, is that I am already devoting every possible resource towards reaching a speedy conclusion to this issue. So when you hear the bad talk about us against this company in the days, maybe weeks to come, just bear in mind that we will get past this. day's coming when none of this will matter.
Peacekeepers. That's what they called their machines. They were built for war, not peace.
Yeah, the war machine springs to life, opens up one eager eye. Opens it towards the sky.
Now it's going white.
Where 99 red balloons go by. You know the song. Okay, but so that means... yeah, the machines got out of hand, and as they hinted at downstairs with the holograms, or Aloy said, they built robots that could, for one, hack other robots and make them join up with them, that were really good at destroying stuff, and that could manufacture more robots. Oh, and the manufacturing robot could be powered by another robot that had the ability to convert biomass. So that means, like, I don't know, animals, people? So that's, that basically means they had no chance of fighting the machines. Oh, well, not fighting, but like of stopping the machines once they were out of control. Unless they, you know, like, managed to destroy them or something, but like, I guess the recall was a problem. All hands on deck. From Gordon Nakata to Gina Zierman. All hands on deck. Ever hear of the Melville Island Fruit Association? Neither had I until they filed suit against us this morning. Apparently there's a little island paradise off the coast of Australia, population 2,700, all of whom hate us. Now that a Stray Hearts Timor unit is chowing down on their largest mango orchard. That brings the official count of Hearts Timor related lawsuits to 127, most of them from private companies, but also a bunch from individuals, nation-states, and NGOs. And that's not even counting the mother of all liability claims from Hearts itself. Call every external firm we've ever used, then call their competitors. We're going to need every corporate defense lawyer we can find who's still half sober and on the bar. Yeah, that doesn't seem to be going well here. So that's why they're building the war machines, I guess. The human-driven ones, I mean. What? No, not down. Up. It's always, you know, if you hold the controller slightly at an angle or something, then it's even harder to, because you know, you tilt it sideways, but what you're actually doing is like tilting it at a 35-degree angle. One. Alright. Let's continue our climb up here. See where we end up, and hopefully don't fall anywhere. It's nice that someone left all these supplies for us. So continue here. Drop to ledge. Okay. Jesus. How far up is this? Very far up. Okay. Jesus, Aloy. I guess you have practice in parkouring and stuff. But, yeah. Because you trained for the
no room.
Proving. I mean, this is a pretty world, you know, like you see down and it feels like a building. It's pretty cool. Oh. Banda Sea incident. From Stacy Anders to Robert Rescher, Dolphin Vid. Bob, another problem to add to our big steaming pile. Apparently a fisherman in the Banda Sea captured video of a Hearts Timor Horus unit refueling via biomatter conversion along the shoreline of Pulau Wetar. On a pod of endangered dolphins, no less. Quite possibly the last of their kind. Not to get graphic, but it looks like what happens inside a blender, as if the robot was whipping up a big pink swirling milkshake of dolphin chum. Our suppression team has scrubbed it from 43 networks, but it's still propagating, so it's only a matter of time before it goes viral. A prepared statement feels grossly insufficient. Any suggestions? This one's a real stinker. So how long did it take until they used humans as fuel, I wonder? Fuel. Or was that at least part of the program? Okay, I guess there's nothing more here.
The way up.
Chum.
All it takes is a few good handholds. All right, made it. Wonder what we'll find.
Oh, they have a skylight. Ridgewood. Could get fatty meat here. Let's just see what else we can drop. Okay. Fatter like this, because fatty meat is something that's hard to find. Oh, there's another spot where we can climb up. I guess let's quickly do that first, because this is a spot that I missed the first time.
Should have brought a cart.
And if you do that, you have to do the whole climbing again. If you want to go back, and then you have to find the entrance downstairs again. That cave, which is not marked anywhere. And we found
power cells. What do they do?
Nice. Nice view of the mountains. Alright, let's see what the mission objectives have to give us. But yeah, so we have that ancient power cell mission, so you kind of do not want to miss that item up there. Well, if you do, then you'll just have to Google where the heck the entrance was. So I guess that's the objective. Is there anything left to scan here? Or anything over here? Oh, there's another supply crate. Alright.
All data has been erased from this device. Do you wish to deploy Alpha privileges to recover purged data?
Oh yes, I believe I do.
A file has been recovered.
Elizabeth, good to, It's been years.
Where's your legal team, Ted?
No need. I dropped all 18 lawsuits the moment you landed. I assume your data confirms this.
Alright, this promises to be interesting.
Perhaps we could have lunch brought in. You know, get reacquainted.
I know you, Ted. You've screwed something up, something big, or you wouldn't have eaten the crow necessary to get me here. So, spit it out.
There's a glitch in the chariot line.
Your killer robots?
Peacekeepers, yes, those.
So shut them down.
Obviously, Liz, we would, if we could. They're not responding.
Are you telling me a swarm has gone rogue, Ted?
It's worse than that.
Show me the data then. And I'll take that lunch. Alone.
Ted Faro brought Elizabeth Sobek here, but they hated each other.
Another file has been recovered.
This isn't a glitch. It's a catastrophe.
Fully aware. It's bad.
Bad?
Jesus, Liz.
It's not bad, Ted. It's apocalyptic. You built a line of killer robots.
Peacekeepers.
That consume biomass as fuel.
In emergencies.
And you made them capable of self-replication.
Limited, self-manufacture, controlled.
Not anymore. The glitch severed chain of command. The only nation this swarm answers to now is itself.
You think I did?
Everything else is just food. And at the rate it's replicating, Ted, it will strip the Earth bare in 15 months. We're not talking fall of civilization. We're talking extinction.
I get it, Liz. So how do I stop it while it's contained?
It's not contained. It can't be.
You know what I mean.
Right. Before the truth gets out, you mean?
Liz, I will do anything you say. Keep working it, and whatever you recommend, I'll do.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Ted.
The Faro robots threatened all life on Earth, but somehow she defeated them. The world of the old ones fell, but life went on, or we wouldn't be here.
A final file has been recovered.
Project Zero Dawn. Jesus, Liz. There has to be another way.
If there were a nicer way to fix your mess, I would have proposed it.
But this? This? When I asked you to find a cure, I didn't expect it to be worse than the disease.
It's not, Ted. It may be grim, but it's our only chance. Now sign the proposal.
Sign it? I can't sign that.
Yes, you can.
That? Liz, I cannot in good conscience sign that.
You've got a choice, Ted.
I know.
I'm speaking to you from a VTOL en route to U.S. Robot Command. In 15 minutes, I meet with General Harris and the rest of the Joint Chiefs.
What? Are you crazy?
Now your choice is what I tell them. Sign, and I'll tell them the wealthiest corporation on Earth has guaranteed the funds necessary to build Zero Dawn. Exactly as I've designed it. Or don't sign, and I will make sure they and everyone else on this planet knows the real cause of the glitch.
Jesus, Liz. You don't have to threaten me. I'll sign.
Look on the bright side, Ted. From here on out, you get to do what you've always been good at. Footing the bill while others get their hands dirty.
God forgive me.
What made her solution so terrible? What did she do to stop the robots?
Executive access detected. Express lift opened.
This doesn't add up. Sobek couldn't have been my mother. She lived ages ago. All this searching, and I'm still no closer.
That's your reaction to everything you've just learned? To whine like a spoiled child?
You should really try talking that way to me face to face.
As you wish. Do you really have no idea how monumental are the discoveries you just made, Aloy? I expected more of you.
So, you have a face. Got a name to go with it?
Of all the questions you could ask right now, that's the one you choose. I've spent decades searching the ruins of the old ones, trying to solve the mystery of what happened to them. For years, I've suspected that Pharaoh robots destroyed their civilization, but I could never confirm it. And in minutes, you uncover more ancient knowledge than I have in a lifetime, and what you want to know is my name. Silence. That's my name. Now, why don't you try asking another question? Something less trivial.
You have no idea what I've been through. How hard it's been. My whole life, I grew up not knowing who I am, or where I came from, and then come the Eclipse trying to kill me just because I look like this Elizabeth Sobek woman.
And they killed the man who raised you and you found in the mountain as a baby. I already know this through your focus.
The point is, every time I take a step forward, the answers slip farther from my grasp. You just don't understand.
It's not that I don't understand, Aloy. It's that I don't care. If the answers keep slipping away every step you take, then you best start running to catch up. Maybe then you'll realize just how big your problems really are.
What exactly are you talking about?
You've chased a personal riddle into a crowd of larger mysteries. The common thread is your connection to Elizabeth Sobek.
But what is that connection? She couldn't have been my mother if she lived centuries ago.
We don't know the connection yet. The only way to find out is to keep going, to keep making discoveries. Thanks to you, we've only just now learned that Pharaoh robots once threatened to end life on Earth.
But it didn't happen. The Old One's civilization was destroyed, but life was saved.
Obviously. So, what did Elizabeth do? How did she stop the robots before all was lost?
What was Project Zero Dawn?
Exactly the question. Now, are you ready to go get the answer?
Of course I am.
Then why are you still standing here?
Not so fast, Silence. You've got some explaining to do.
I've told you quite enough. If you still got questions, be quick about it and stop wasting my time.
So far as I can tell, the Eclipse are just following orders. It's Hades who wants me dead. Who is he?
I don't know. The Eclipse describe him as a buried shadow, some kind of devil.
That thing that spoke to me outside, that made that focus explode. That was Hades. It didn't seem like a person or a machine. More like a phantom. With a terrible voice.
All that's certain is that he wants you dead.
Because of my connection to Elizabeth. Has to be.
Hades is using the Eclipse to resurrect Pharaoh robots.
But if Elizabeth found a way to stop them centuries ago, if she made special weapons, maybe Hades is worried I'll do the same thing.
In some of the ancient data I've recovered, there are hints of so-called super weapons being developed. Maybe to stop the robots, the civilization of the old ones had to destroy itself. Now, if that's enough talking, be on your way.
Oh no. I'm just getting started. You've been getting a free ride on my focus, risking nothing while I risk everything. All I have to do is take this thing off my head, and you'll be blind, deaf, and dumb. So quit complaining and answer my questions.
Very well. Proceed.
You said you've known for some time that Faro war machines destroyed the civilization of the old ones.
The evidence pointed that way. But until now, I never knew the full scope of their danger. That they could process organic matter into fuel, or that the Horus class could manufacture more robots. Like a cauldron on legs.
But the robots we've seen so far, the Corruptors and Deathbringers, they don't do those things.
Not yet, anyway. So far, we haven't encountered any that are undamaged. At full power, who knows what they're capable of?
Who are you, Silence? And what are your intentions?
You really need to make this personal? I'm a lone wanderer who left his tribe behind a long time ago. An explorer of forbidden places, a searcher of lost knowledge. Exactly as I said.
Why do you know so much about the Eclipse?
I happen to know a lot about a lot of things. If what you're really asking is whether I work for the Eclipse or anyone else, I don't. I am nothing if not independent.
You've been using my focus to spy on me. How's that possible?
Every focus emits a signal, a voice, that only other focuses can hear. I know how to string those voices together, how to make them talk to each other, to communicate, even over vast distances.
How do you learn to do that?
Years of study and experimentation. In principle, it's not so different from how you override machines. I override focuses.
And you can spy through other Eclipse's focuses too.
Usually. All I'll say is that overriding the connections is complicated.
Is there any chance that Elizabeth Sobek could still be alive somehow?
It's highly unlikely, but not impossible. Some of the ancient data I've recovered includes mentions of life extension techniques. Pharmaceuticals, mostly, an ancient word for medicine. But some were still trying to perfect ways of freezing and unfreezing people.
Freezing and unfreezing people?
Cryogenics, they called it. But there were problems with it. Given Elizabeth's technological acumen, I can't definitively rule out that she found a way to make herself immortal. But this is speculation. Wasting time.
Elizabeth told Ted Faro she was headed for a place called U.S. Robot Command to tell people about Zero Dawn.
The place still exists as a ruin. The Oseram call it the Grave Horde.
Grave Horde? Cheery name.
You'll find it in the Eastern Mountains, buried under the tangled coils of a metal devil, or a BOR-7 Horus, rather, as we're learning to call them. I'll contact you when you get there.
I can't wait. Someday we'll meet in person, and your manners had better be improved.
Okay,
Well,
so we
getting down
found
will
out
be a lot
quite a
faster
lot.
than getting up here, at least. U.S. Robot Command next. To learn the secrets of Zero Dawn.
Which way? Oh, here. So yeah, we found out a lot of things now, and
Snow's easing. Shake the numbness out.
so tomorrow, what we have left to finish playing the beginning that was missing is taking over another tall neck. Our second one. So see you for that here. And depending on how long that takes, we might actually be starting a new game then. So if you're watching this on YouTube or via the Twitch VODs, then you can just continue watching your VODs and you'll be happy, and I'll be talking about some things, and I'll probably be I tried hard to not mention you know, to not talk again about stuff that I've already, I quote unquote have already mentioned later, that I will be mentioning later, but of course I might not have managed always, so apologies for any repeat mentions of the same things. There's just like certain things just fascinate me so much that I'm bound to talk about them again. So thank you for watching. At the bottom of the screen, by the way, you can see my Twitter and micro.blog name and my Mastodon username. So if you want to contact me, if you want to provide feedback, if you want to ask questions about these games, and or you know, if I mention that I don't know something and you know the answer, feel free to contact me and tell me. Yeah, so and now I guess it's time to do a raid, to at least yeah, to do a raid that will bring you to another streamer. I have an idea who I will likely raid if they're online. We shall see. There seem to be a lot of streams right now. Okay, yeah, so let's raid Lady Kadashing, who is playing Star Wars The Old Republic, which is a game I've also... Oh no, wait, she's playing not Star Wars, she's playing what's it called? I think Dragon Age. So see you there. Feel free to say hi.